All right, guys. Still module one. We are now going to move on to chapter two of module one. A little bit more about why the program is set up the way that it is, kind of some background. So I remember, so I've helped a lot of people lose weight. And one of the things that is interesting to me is hearing the reasons they want to work with me and what they hope to get out of it. I remember sitting down with a lady once and I said, so tell me, what is your, what are you most excited about? And she said, I'm excited to get all your secrets. And I said, oh, crud. I said, I'm sorry to disappoint you. I don't have any secrets. And I said, I'm really sorry to disappoint you. Nobody has any secrets. But her thought process that there's a secret out there, there's something magical that she hasn't found yet that is so pervasive. I mean, if you look at the weight loss industry in 2018, $72.7 billion was spent on the weight loss industry. What was that money? Oh, supplements. It Works. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? This is that wrap. Here's a million multi-level marketing schemes. This was one of them. And it wraps around your belly. And what do people think is going to happen? You just, I don't know, sweat out the fat, which is so ludicrous, but this is what people think. And so it spends a ton of money. Dr. Oz is case in point. Dr. Oz, we know he got his big start with, at least into TV, as Oprah's #1 doctor. He has his own show. It's very successful. He's won, I can't remember what it is now, like 8 daytime Emmys or something like that. And so very successful. What's the #1 topic for Dr. Oz? Weight loss. Weight loss. And people eat this stuff up. Interestingly, though, Dr. Oz, as if we don't have our Congress and doesn't have anything better to do. They called him to stand before a Senate committee, and they questioned him, and they said, essentially saying that all this false advertising. And this is what Dr. Oz had said. Oz was scolded by Chairman Claire McCaskill for some of the claims he made about weight loss supplements. Oz acknowledged that his language about green coffee and other supplements had been, quote, flowery. Dr. Oz ended up paying out $5.2 million in false advertising claims. But he pushes this. Why? Because people eat it up. What he said about, where is it? This green coffee is he said that this green coffee extract will help everybody of every size lose weight. Let's analyze this really quick and look at weight loss reality. In 2003 to 2008, they surveyed about 16,000 Americans, and they wanted to know who wants to lose weight and that kind of thing. They found that almost 75% of women want to lose weight, while about 55% of men want to. It doesn't mean they are, they have that desire to. Then they pushed a little further and they found that about 50% of women are actively engaged in a weight loss attempt, at least within the preceding year, while 30% of men. So 50% of women, 30% of men the preceding year. Let's extrapolate that out, year after year after year. Theoretically, either it's only the same people or almost everybody in America has been on a weight loss attempt at any given time. Yet at the same time, we know that anywhere from 80 to 95% of those who lose weight, they gain it all back. So what happened to the green coffee extract that's supposed to help them? Or whatever the other supplement is? It doesn't work. If you think, imagine this. This is what I try to help people realize. A pound is 3,500 calories. 3,500 calories. If you go to the gym and you work out really hard, for this morning I worked out with my wife and we counted calories, and she worked out pretty freaking hard for about 40 minutes. She burned about 400 calories. She busted her butt. That's only 400 calories. A pound's 3,500. What kind of crazy thing would you put in your mouth that you think would mimic that type of energy expenditure? And if there was, what kind of health consequences do you think that would have on your health? And so there's nothing that you can put in your mouth. So people are not good at keeping weight off. Let me continue to push this point. A 2007 study followed subjects, thousands of subjects for 5 years to see if they could lose weight. What they found is by 6 months, That's about when people peak. 6 months is peak weight loss. But the longer they followed them, the more weight that they kept off. By 5 years, all the weight was gone. If you follow people by up to 4 years, they kept 3% of their weight off. 3%. Is 3% successful? The average female wants to lose 32% of her body weight. 32%. That's crazy. By 5 years, everybody gains it back. I had a girl in one of my weight management classes, and she had lost 100 pounds. And I said, hey, you lost 100 pounds. Can you talk to the class about what you did and how you kept it off? And she stopped me. And very seriously, she said, I did not lose 100 pounds. She said, it's not as if I'm out there trying to find this lost weight. Let's mount a search and rescue team. She said, no, I didn't lose it. I removed that weight. It's gone. That's all she had to say, at least in my opinion, that showed how she was able to keep this off. She didn't lose the weight. It's not lost. It's gone. She removed it. It's gone. There are those who have been successful losing weight. It's hard to do it, but there are. We're incorporating the principles that they have found to be the most successful. Now, one of the big reasons that there's so much weight gain, I think, can be highlighted when looking at bariatric patients. So bariatric surgery, it is the most effective form of weight loss. It is. It doesn't mean that everybody succeeds, but it's the most effective. Having said that, when you follow these patients 11 years after surgery, we know that failure rates are 35%. Now, we could be very positive about this and say, yeah, 65% succeeded. And I don't knock bariatric surgery. I think that there are those who should do this. But here's my point. So 35% have failed. An unintended consequence, post-bariatric surgery, alcohol and substance abuse goes through the roof. Meaning 1 out of 3 of these people who have bariatric surgery, one, they fail, they don't lose the weight that they need to. And now, not only have they not lost weight, they're an alcoholic. One study found that approximately 30% of post-bariatric patients reported having drinking problems, compared to only 4.5% prior to surgery. Why? This is the faulty notion that there's one thing that will fix your weight loss problems. For bariatric people, individuals waiting for surgery, their notion is, oh, this surgery is going to fix my problem. Just shrink my gut and I'm good. Think about this. Pre-surgery, people that are morbidly obese, these are people that are waiting for bariatric surgery, they probably cope with food. When they're happy, they eat. When they're stressed, they eat. When they're sad, they eat. They cope with food. Now they got this surgery that removes the ability to cope with food because they can't eat or they get sick. So now how do they cope? They turn to liquor or other substances that they shouldn't be consuming. Instead, we have to treat the whole person. That really is the concept of synergy. Synergy is treating the whole person. We recently moved, and I have a problem with asking for help. And so I took our family trampoline, the safest thing. I got 5 kids, right? And so the trampoline really is like a death trap, but whatever. And I disassembled and then reassembled this trampoline into our new home. And it taught me a lesson. If you look at all these springs in this trampoline, when they're all attached, that trampoline is a very robust toy, meaning it's sturdy, it stands together. And the reason why is because of synergy. All of those strings are pulling on each other. Synergy is the interaction of 2 or more organizations to produce a combined effect greater than the sum. For the example of the trampoline, each spring pulling against each other combined, it makes a very strong toy. But what I did is, once I took one spring off, which was really hard to do, once I got one, then the next one was easier. And the next one was even easier. After I removed about 5 or 6, the trampoline essentially just fell apart. Weight loss is the same thing. Diet is one spring. Exercise is another spring. Sleep is a spring. Stress management is a spring. There are a lot of springs that synergistically, when you do them all together, you can lose weight. The average dieter does not incorporate all these springs. The average dieter wants to choose one spring, and they think that that spring is the most important, and then they'll have success. 90% of people who lose weight gain it back because they choose 1 or 2 springs. The idea of this program is we're incorporating all the springs. What's the alternative? Yeah, you gain your weight back and then you feel crap about it, like really bad about yourself. Man, I gained my weight back. And then you lose weight again, and then you gain it, and then you lose it. And then essentially you become a weight cycler. I have a picture of Oprah here, not because I'm bad mouthing Oprah. It is funny though that she gives a lot of weight loss advice and she can't keep weight off. But Oprah is the epitome of a weight cycler. And I have no problem with the way she looks, but the facts are she's lost a ton of weight, gained it, lost it, gained it, lost it, gained it. Um, the average American is no different, right? We have almost 40% of the country that's considered obese. Remember, 75% of women want to lose weight. 50% are actively engaging in weight loss in the preceding year. 90% gain it back. If you put those statistics together, what does that mean? You're losing weight, gaining it, losing weight, gaining weight. We have a nation full of weight cyclers. So what's the big deal about this? Because there is a lot of literature that suggests that those who are weight cyclers have a harder time losing weight the next time. That's why. Let me talk about Bethany. Bethany got married, and as a lot of people do when they get married, she gained a lot of weight. Why? Because when you're dating, there's an occasional date night where you overconsume calories. But now you're married, you're in love. Every night is date night. And so you're eating tons of delicious food and Pizookie. I say Pizookie because that's what me and my wife did. And then you gain weight. So she came to me and we would try to lose weight. The problem with Bethany, though, is she wasn't following what I was telling her to do. She kept choosing one spring, and her spring was carbohydrates. She thought that all she had to do is remove carbohydrates. But she would lose weight, because you will lose weight over the short term when you remove carbohydrates. We'll discuss this later. And when she lost weight, what happened is when you lose 10 pounds, about 80% is fat. But about 20% is what we call lean body tissue. So it's muscle and bone. So Bethany lost 10 pounds, 8 pounds was fat, 2 was bone and muscle. But then Bethany gained her weight back. 90% of people do. She was not gaining back 10 pounds of pure muscle. She gained back 10 pounds of fat. What this means is now she weighed the same that she weighed before, but her body composition has changed such that she's chunkier. She lost some bone. She lost some muscle. And what she found is that it was harder to lose weight the next time because one, she changed her body composition, but two, there's good data to show that weight cycling changes hormones in your body that makes you hungrier. And there's good data to show that when you gain your weight back, and 90% of people do, it's mainly in the stomach. Now she weighs the same, she has a bigger belly, and she's hungrier. Has she bettered herself? She chose one spring. So we had all this that finally she came to me in her 5th dieting attempt and she said, okay, I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to remove my carbs and do it this time. And I say, Bethany, why are you doing it this way? Why is this your method of success, so to speak, or at least she thought it. She said, because it works for me. And I kind of chuckled, and in a nice way, I said, then why are you here again? If it worked for you, why are you doing it again? Dieters do this all the time. They have a diet that they like and they've lost weight with it. Now they gain their weight back, but like, oh, I'm gonna do it again. I was so successful when I did this before. Oh, really? And now you're here doing it again. You obviously weren't that successful. This is why the great Albert Stunkard, he is really the first obesity researcher. And he made this statement at the end of a prolific career in obesity research. He said, quote, most persons will not stay in treatment for obesity. Of those who stay in treatment, most will not lose weight. And of those who do lose weight, most will regain it. Now, maybe that's overly pessimistic, but statistically it's true. What I'm trying to do is to show you how to be one of the few that is able to maintain weight loss. So what I want you to do is I want you to analyze where you've been in the past. Sometimes this is a good experiment to do, to know where we've been in the past so that we can have a better direction for the future. So I want you to determine if you could consider yourself a weight cycler. So what I want you to do is to think about the age. Now I know this is hard, especially if you're a little bit older, but just do the best you can. The age you were at every time you lost 10 pounds. So for example, let's say that I was first 25 And that's when I wanted to lose weight. So that was my age. The weight at the start, let's say I was 220 pounds and I lost, say, 20 pounds. Okay. And then the method, what was the method? I don't know. What did I do? I did, I don't know, whatever, a ketogenic diet. I'll just put keto. And then do the next one and the next one and the next one. If you've done this 3 or more times, you are considered a weight cycler, meaning you've already kind of had some of those negative things that I already brought up, and there's more take place. I want you to do this so that you can say, one, stop doing it, stop losing and gaining and losing and gaining. But two, look at the methods that have not worked for you. Let's move away from those. If they've not worked in the past, why in the world do you think that they would work in the future? So you can pause this recording if you'd like to. We're almost done here. I also want you to think of other mindsets. So here are mindsets of successful weight losers that the literature has shown. And I want you to think about, where am I, and do I need to move to a more successful mindset? Meaning, am I trying to fool myself by thinking there's, I don't know, that I'm gonna lose 100 pounds? That would be fooling yourself. Can it happen? Sure. If you're 400 pounds, then I think it happened. But if you're 180 pounds, right, don't pick a weight loss goal that big, and move towards being honest with yourselves. Thinking of weight loss as an end of itself. Remember, you might want to lose 35 pounds, but why do you want to do that? Weight loss should be part of an overall process of learning about yourself and your priorities. I won't read all these things. You read them. And maybe these would be one that you wanted to make one of your goals, right? That you want to change your mindset. Steve Jobs, the ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do it. Now, we're not changing the world here, but we're changing your world, right? Through these changes that we want to make within your mental psyche, your home, your behaviors. Take home message. Successful long-term weight loss is extremely difficult. One reason for this are faulty beliefs about weight loss. It's difficult. I can't lie to you and say it's easy. It's not. The 24-hour weight loss diet is based on the idea of synergy between many variables that impact weight loss, and we'll be discussing all these variables. The alternative to this plan is more of what we've gotten in the past, and that's weight cycling, which just is going to make it harder to lose weight in the future. Disciplined people can do the right thing at the right time in the right way for the right reason. I give you the planner and the tools to be able to do the right thing, the right time, the right way, the right reason. Ultimately, you're going to have to make the decision to do it, but these tools will make it much easier. All right, that's the end of module 1. There's a quiz, 10 questions. The quiz is meant to make sure that you've internalized some of these concepts that we've discussed. And so good luck with that.